we are taking the Heart Wreath, which I spray painted, just lightly, ever so lightly, and made it pink. I thought this was really cute. I'm going to use these zip ties. You can pick these up at the Dollar Tree for $1, 98 cents still. Harbor Freight, Wally's World, pretty much anywhere. And remember what I taught you about when you're making bows, kind of loop them? And on these bows, what we're going to do, we're not going to make big fancy bows. We're just going to do a couple of loops. Trim it up. Like that. Run this through here. And we're just going to put these randomly all over this. There we go. Now you can see what I'm doing. Remember what I shared about when you make bows. Fold them in half, get the center. And you're just going to squeeze these on. And you're going to do this all over this form. Fluff them out. This turns out really super cute too. It's a little time consuming, but real easy peasy cheat way. We're just going to run these all the way around this form. And if you saw that other wreath that I did, I used a lot of lace, the one that's in the picture. This one we're going to use a ton of ribbon. So what I'm doing first is I'm putting my bigger, my 2.5 inch ribbon pieces in. And top those up. We're going to whip these around. And I'm using the same pattern just to kind of get some symmetrical going. So just loop it. You don't want to go like this. A lot of people do this. Unless your ribbon is nice on both sides. If you loop it, like how I show you, to loop it, then you're going to get that nice pretty piece of ribbon popping out on the top. And that's pretty much what we're going to do to get this going. Pull these really tight because you want this to pop. And there's a reason why. See these cute little hearts that I have? I have a whole bunch of these different ones. We're going to glue those in the middle. They're going to be so cute. Anyway, just do this like this right now. And just loop, loop, loop. All the way around. And I'm doing 3 on each side. So 3 and 3. I want to leave the bottom open and the top open. That way we can put a different type of bow and accent and make it even and pop it out a little bit. Do this around. And we're just going to do that, like I said, 3 and 3. Super easy peasy. I've had many people ask me if I sell my product, and if you're my friend or my neighbor or family member, you kind of know that I gift them. I'm not really into producing. I want to show you how to make it, and then after I make these, sometimes I do sell them. I do have clients, but for the most part, they end up being a gift to someone that I just care and love and want to share a little love with and appreciate. And these are kind of fun to do that way. So see how we're coming along so far? 3. I'm going to do 3. Pretty much don't go back and forth. You notice I'm doing 2 and 2. So I'm doing them 2 thick. So see how it's coming together already? But that's where I get a lot of my ideas. So let's put some hearts on here. It's Valentine's Day, right? So why not? I picked this up at Michael's last year after clearance, Valentine's clearance, 80 or 90% off. Remember I've told you how to shop those deals like that? 2 loops is what I'm doing on all of these so far. So just 2 loops. And I'm going to use my little red tie. I'm going to pop these in between these. Okay? just to give it a little pop. And you'll notice too that when you're doing these heart-shaped ones, the forms, they're different than the wreath forms. So it's kind of fun figuring out where you're going to actually zip tie those to. But you can't get it wrong. It's all part of the process. Okay. We'll do it again on this side. And we're just going to do this all the way around this wreath. See how we're zip tying these on? Just running them through and zip tying them on. But wait, there's more. We're going to do more than just this. We're not just going to be putting bows all over it. I'm actually going on the top piece, and I know I'm going to hold this up for you to see what I'm doing. See here? Looping it through, and it's pulling it tight. I chose to do it this way because it's super easy peasy. And I try to do super easy peasy shares for all of you. Fold it in half, get your center. We're going to loop it through between this one. It was kind of cool when I painted it, because I didn't know how it was going to turn out when I spray painted it. I just did a light spray paint on it. And when it turned out pink, that was kind of like, wow, that's kind of cool. I like that. Let's see how we're looking so far. This little piece here, don't throw it away. You're going to use these little pieces too. So that's 2 rolls so far that we've used. And we have hearts, hearts, checkers, checkers, checkers so far. See on the back? Can't even see. And dangle here. And I want this to pop a little bit too, so we're going to use some netting to make it pop a little bit. And I'm actually going to move this over here for right now. So I want to show you how to do those pretty bows that I did that little share. Okay, so here's my thought. Because this is more of a burlap type fill material, and this is not. This is more netting, more soft foo-foo. This is more burlap. I'm going to stay with the burlap and use this wider piece for the base of the bow. This is burlap too. So we're going to do like a little fun bow here. I always can't look at what I'm doing. Okay. See the difference? They complement each other. So we're going to wrap this. We're going to leave one tail because we want that to hang off. Remember what I said? You can't add to it once you cut it off, but you can always trim it down. So we're not going to cut this off, but we're going to loop this. Remember what I said about you loop? And I know I repeat myself a lot on that looping, but that was such a learning curve for me to not loop it. And I want to make sure that you guys don't loop it. I want to make sure that's nice and long because I want a long tail on this. I'm going for a long tail. Okay. Two, much. Just 3 times is more than enough. Because this is just going to give it some pop. I'm going to lay that on top. Like so. We want to tie this all together. So on this piece here, we're a little bit wider, and you'll see why in a moment. So we have this, and this, and this. So we have the ribbon, the netting, more ribbon. This is the same as the wide one, but it's skinnier. So we're going to use that to accent this. This is going to be like a center bling out pop piece. So you have your base, your netting, a little accent, and a little pop. Remember what I said about make sure you have it centered. And I'm actually just going to go ahead and zip tie this one. I know a lot of times you'll see where I use the pipe cleaners. Today we're using zip ties. I want to show you how to use zip ties. See how these are still nice and long? Okay. So what you want to do is find out how these are naturally, your tails are naturally going to lay, and then that's going to determine what's up and what's down. Fold it just to give it a little pop, and then when we put this onto our wreath form, we'll fluff this all out. Okay, and normally you would just, you could even just put that right into the wreath form like that, but because I made it so thick with all the different layers, I did this with the tie because I'm actually going to probably put something like that in the middle of it. So pulling this back up just to give you a visual what we're looking at. Now I want to put some smaller ribbon in here to give it that fillery, that real foofy type look. So, and I also want to put some more fluff into it. This red is so pretty. Pick this up. Sorry. You pick this up at the Dollar Tree for $1. I hope I do it right. Arclay tool. You can get this at the Dollar Tree, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Amazon. Dollar Tree is what I suggest. That's the best price. Best price ever. And we're just going to open this up. See how thin that is? This will pop and look so pretty when you put a little bit of your heart bling bling in there. And it's all about the hearts, right? So we're going to do more hearts. And I want to leave this ribbon long. You're going to see why. Lay these on top. See that? We're going to use red. And we're going to add these around the wreath form. Okay? The wreath has like these little lines going around it and then little channels going across. Let me show you. Let me show you. Is the plastic, and it has these little bridges that go across. I'm going to try to put these on some of the bridges. That will give it some dimension. You don't want everything just laying on top. It'd be kind of boring. So see what I did here? Now we're going to tighten that up. And we're going to do that around the inside and a little bit on the outside. And it doesn't take a lot to do these. It really doesn't. And you can pre-cut all this prior to making it if you want. I do it this way because I want you to see the whole process. I'm what they call a TK person. I learn by touching and feeling. And so I kind of teach that way. So we're just going to run this up on another one of those bridges on the inside here. Lay this down. It's not cooperating. Let's get this in here. Go in there. When you're putting these little zip ties on, I'll show you something. I want to show you something. Check this out. I don't know if you can see this really good or not, but they have a head on them. Okay? So on this head, you want to bring it in where that fat part is sticking out, like that. It snugs up better. It just does. So let's get this in here. Get another piece going here. Remember, I'm just doing this 2 times over. Doing this 2 times over. And for giggles and laughs, let's throw some of this little heart on here too. Why not? These are kind of cute. It is a Valentine's. See what I said about, if you can see that, that's really good. But we're going to bring that hammer down, make sure this is nice and even, and just snug that in. 2 times. Two times. Top. And you can do this any way you want. When you're doing it, make up your own style and stuff. I strongly recommend you just being creative and going with it. And don't get really stressed out having to do it exactly how I do it, because that will just suck the life out of it and it won't be fun. You need to be creative and make it your own. So we're just going to pop this on. I know you're going, fluff it out, Hallie, for I can see what it looks like. Come on, fluff it out. I want to see it fluffy. It's so fluffy. See how I did that? That's a no-no. I didn't catch it when I zipped it down, and now it's down there tight, so I need to see if I can. There's no going back. Once you zip it down, it's down. See if I can get that to twist a little bit here. Oh, good. I caught it before I put it really tight. Okay. Okay. Edward Scissorhands. all these little ties. Let's trim some of those off, get them out of the way here. I just use my trusty old cutters. Flat side, remember how I always tell you, use the flat side if you want to get up close, where you can snug up to it and trim them. Just don't trim off that hammer part, that head, okay? Let's see if I can show you one here. But you're just going to go in there and you're just going to trim those off, okay? If you cut them too short, your bow's going to come off. You're going to defeat your purpose. Remember what I said, we are going to put those little accents on here, and I also have flowers to put on here. Bling it all out, make it pretty. These are kind of pretty. After Christmas, 80% off, Michael's. Yeah! So I picked up red and white. Pretty Valentine colors. So let's just trim this up real quick. Eyeball it. You should see my room when I'm done. It's totally thrashed. I just throw this stuff all over the place while I'm doing them. So see how we trim those up? Remember what I've shared in the past about don't cut your stems too short because they'll fall apart on you? But I wanted to, these are so pretty. So remember when you're cutting, don't cut your head off so short where they don't have that stem. Otherwise your whole flower will come apart. Remember what I've told you that before. You don't want your flowers to come apart. So what I do before I put these on is I fluff them out and make sure they're all pretty. It's so pretty. I'm going to glue the flowers down before I fluff out these bows, and I'll fluff out the bows around the flowers. Remember what I said, I'm going to go around the edge. I'm going to do it this way versus this way. So I'm not doing the V, I'm going to do it around the heart. And here's why. Because I can. Because I think that'll look better that way. To kind of let the glue dry a little bit too. See how it's coming along? Pop this one down here. Give it a little space. They don't have to be on top of each other. You can space them out a little bit because these are pretty big petals. And we also have some pretty big bows that are going in here. Those dry just a little bit before we get in. See how pretty that's looking? Wait until we fluff out the bows. It looks so cool. Okay. So I want to put some white netting in here too. Why not? I think that would be pretty. Make it pop a little bit. Let's do white on white. So do a little loop. Okay. But it is pretty, it's white. But you can get this white anywhere. We're just going to pop this on. Put a little red heart in there too. Why not? We're just going to run it through and pop it on here. And the reason I'm doing a little bit of white on here is we have that white flower. We want to balance out our colors. So I'm doing it opposite of where the white flower is. You'll see in a second here what I'm talking about. Just a compliment. A minute and make it pop. I hate to do that to you. We're going to pop this over here on this side where you can't see me do it. Sorry. We're going to put it right by the white bow. I'm going to show you in a second what we're going to put in. And you'll see why in a second why I'm doing it. So zip tie that down there. See, so they don't always have to be bows. They can just be like a loop. Okay? We're going to do that one more time. And see how long they are? Because we're going to trim all this up when we're done. We're going to fluff everything out, and then we're going to trim it up. We have the red and white flowers and the red and white ribbons, so I'm just going to stay with that. I'm thinking at this point, let's fluff it out, see what we've got. We've added a lot to it, and then we can trim up and go from there. So don't use your scissors to trim up your zip ties. Use your cutters. If you don't have cutters, I picked these up at the hardware store, so any hardware store will have these. And they save your scissors. If you're using scissors to cut your pipe cleaners and your zip ties, eventually you're going to just tear up the blades. Okay? So here we are with that. So I'm going to stand up and lean this on here a little bit where you can see how we're going to fluff these just for this time. Okay? So you're going to pull them apart and fluff. Just pull, pull, fluff. And then you're going to twist it, and fluff it. Okay? So you're going to do that to all of them. Twist and fluff, twist and fluff. Okay? So I'm going to sit back down now where you saw that. Wish I could just tilt that down for you. So just twist and fluff, twist and fluff. And you're going to see now when I was telling you don't overload it, because if you do, then it's going to just be just way too much going on. We're just going to spin this and twist and fluff this all the way around. But wait, there's more. There's more. We still have this piece to do. Show you how to trim these up. So we're just twisting and fluffing and twisting and fluffing and twisting and fluffing. You're going to notice too on your bows, your little ends coming out. Just fluff those out as well. Give them a good fluff because we want all that out. We're going to trim this all up, and it's going to look so, so cute with all these little ends out and hanging and all these fun little ribbons and such. If your flowers fall apart, just glue them back together. It happens. So when you're twisting and popping these, you want to pull them apart to where they're going to cover that form, because you're basically using that form just as a form, as a backdrop. So you don't really need to be seeing that form. I really didn't even need to spray paint it, but I didn't know how much of it was actually going to be showing through. It was all said and done. Let's fix this guy up. We're just going to poke this in here and hold that for a sec. You see all these ribbons I have. I go nuts after the holidays, and I really stock up. For the holiday, each holiday I go and I see what is on clearance, and I grab them up for the next year. Or like I shared, I buy red during Christmas for Valentine's Day. So now we're just going to go through and we're trimming up all those little loose ends. I kind of want to leave those little red hearts dangling there a little bit. Whatever makes you happy. Just do your thing. See how that little bit of netting just fills that in a little bit as well? So find your V. And here's the thing to think about when you put it on your bottom bow, where you're putting your bow on. It's going to lay there. If you're putting it on the slant part, it's going to lay down. If you put it on the top part, it's going to pop up. And remember, like I shared earlier, I usually use pipe cleaners a lot of times, but I chose to do these zip ties this time just to give you a little different look at how things, different way of doing it. Now we're going to fluff this out. So that's already getting poppy. So I'm going to work this a little bit and fluff it out. We're going to fill in that top piece. And then we're going to be done after we put some little hearts on here. But when you're doing your bows, just fluff them out, make them the way you want. Trim up that netting to make it pop. I'll show you in a second what I'm talking about. I promise I will. You know better than to do that. Sorry about that. It gets loud on your ears when I do it that way. I don't want to do that to you. So I'm trimming up the white to make it pop a little bit. Trying to reach this. This one's kind of cute. We'll put that one in the middle here. And I'll pop this up so you can see it. Turn it around. Hold up. Isn't that so cute? Little hugs and kisses. I'm pushing down on that right now just to let that glue really grab it. It is fabric, the heart's fabric, so it should grab it pretty well. I picked these little hearts up at Kohl's actually. Go figure. Sometimes you just find things in the most peculiar places. But we're not done. We need a few more bows. We need to fill in this top piece here. We do. I left that open on purpose because I didn't know if I wanted to put the bow on top. Remember when we were talking earlier? I didn't know if I wanted to put the bow on the top, on the side, or in the middle, or on the bottom. So I just left it open to have that option. And we put the bow on the bottom. And I just did the bow. I didn't put anything in the middle of it or anything because we have a lot going on with this piece. And I have the white underneath it, which is going to accent that as well. And we're also going to put a heart on there, a cute little heart. wait, there's more. There's still more. This is kind of pretty. Make sure when you glue your hearts and stuff on, you're committed. I chose this heart because it's shiny, like the flowers. But that is how you can take and change them after the holidays, after you're done using them for decorating, into something fun. So here's another thing to think about. If you're at a bridal shower or a baby shower or whatever, and you know how you collect the bows from the gifts, and then you put them on a paper plate to make like a bouquet out of them or whatever, you can also use those bows to make a wreath. Another thing you can do is if you made your bows with pipe cleaners, where you twist them on and keep the pipe cleaner long in the back, you could actually use those bows for gifts throughout the year and just replace them as you use them, and it could be a bow keeper for you. Those are the things I think about at night when I can't sleep. As my daddy always said, have a good day and a better tomorrow. As Papa Chuck always said, may the Lord bless you and keep you. And to my girls, peace out. Until next time, it's been real. Thanks for hanging out with me at Hallie's Creations. Remember to check me out on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram as well as Facebook.